This is the kind of weather I have to deal with right now. Definitely a day to do a video indoors, I think. Is that even straight? I don't know. So, hello, welcome back. It's me again. I've been away for quite some time, so I'm sorry about that. I'm back in the UK at the moment, and I'm back here studying. So I've been really busy studying the past couple of months. So I haven't really had much time to make any videos or anything. So I apologise for that. But hopefully I can start uploading a bit more regularly now. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, this video today is just to address a few things about the Emirates application process and recruitment process and what my experience was, because I've had a lot of you guys after my Why I Quit Emirates video, I've had a lot of you guys messaging me asking for advice and stuff like that, so I thought I'd just do a video just to generally address most of those points and basically just speak from my experience. I will add that this was my experience, and I only went through the recruitment process once, so I don't know if it's like that every time, and I don't know, maybe I got lucky, I don't know, but yeah, this is just my opinion and my view of what you need to do to have a successful application and join Emirates. First thing you really want to do is just make sure you've got like a decent CV, like a pretty well organized CV prepared, or resume, if you're watching in the US you might say. Yeah, a couple of people are messaging me about that as well. I mean, it's really not difficult to you can find some good templates on Google and things like that about how to do CVs and general information. Just basically your work experience. If you have like any customer service related experience, that always helps as well. And yeah, you just list your qualifications, your education, your work experience. Maybe just put another paragraph at the end about your kind of personal interests and what kind of person you are, and kind of hobbies, what you like to do. I always find that can help as well. So yeah, that's it's pretty straightforward, to be honest, the CV side. So yeah, as long as you just have that prepared, then you'll be fine. So for me, I just went along to the open day. I didn't apply or anything like that. I know in some countries it is different, so I'm not sure about that, how that works. I think you just apply and then you go straight, they'll invite you straight back for the interview. So yeah, I think you just do that online. But for me, and I think a lot of places, they just have the Emirates Recruitment Open Day where you just show up with your CV. I remember I just went, there's about 150 people at mine, so it wasn't really a big one. I know some of them in Korea can get like, in Korea or Thailand, or especially in Asia, and in some Middle Eastern countries, they can get like thousands of people turning up, so it's really competitive. But mine wasn't too bad, only about 150 people. And they'll just give you a talk about Emirates, about the benefits of joining, and then you just leave your CV with them. And I remember if you were successful, then they would contact you and call you back for the assessment day, which was like a few days after the open day, if I remember correctly. And they called me back, and then I went to the assessment day. So the assessment day is really the first real important part, I think, of the Emirates recruitment process, where they really start to decide whether they think you are Emirates material, let's say. Yeah, so they will, so you just show up, and the people there, the recruitment people from Emirates, they will kind of just guide you through the day. They just have various activities throughout the day. I remember we did a few role-playing activities, how you would deal with a particular situation. The customer had a problem, how you would deal with that, and just and also some group exercises, problem-solving exercises, and it's pretty straightforward. My advice for those kind of things would be, especially when you're doing the group exercises, the problem-solving things, the recruiters will walk around and observe you while you're doing this. don't be too, I know it sounds strange, but don't try too hard, don't be too forceful. Listen to what others are saying. If you agree with them, take in the information, but also add something yourself. So I found a good thing to do was I sat and I listened to everybody's opinions on how we should solve this problem, and then I kind of jumped in while the recruiter was watching. I jumped in and kind of summarized and said, okay guys, so you think this, you think that, what do you all think we should do? And I think that was kind of a good thing. It showed kind of good management and being able to assess a situation and find solutions and work with people. So that kind of thing always helps. But don't try too hard, don't try and force your opinions on other people. Sit back and listen, and then add something if you think you can. Yeah, but don't worry about it too much. You know, it's actually quite straightforward once you get there. People tend to get quite nervous about these things, but once you're there, it's just human nature basically for most people. If you're right for it, then it will be pretty easy for you. And also in the role-playing exercises, when you have to deal with a difficult situation or a difficult customer, you know, it's just common sense. You know, you try and be polite, you try and offer a solution, and you just be nice, you smile, and you try and offer a solution the best you can, and that should be enough really. Obviously I applied from the UK, so I went to school in the UK. I'm a native English speaker, so part of the assessment day, I believe, if you're applying from outside an English speaking country or you didn't go to school in an English speaking country, is you have to do like an English test. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how difficult that is. I've heard that it can be quite difficult, but I really don't know about that. I'm sure there are plenty of other videos about that on YouTube. But for us who are native English speakers, that wasn't part of our assessment day. But if you're not, then you will have to do that also on the assessment day. And in addition to that, one final thing about the assessment day was, I recall you have to do a height test. I believe you had to reach something like 2 meters, but I could be wrong. I may be corrected on that, but you have to reach a certain height without your shoes on. It's not particularly high, but if you are, you know, quite a short person, then you might struggle. I don't think too many people didn't manage to do it. I think most people could do it, but if you are quite short, then you might struggle with that. Check the I'm sure the Emirates, I'm sure there'll be guidance on what the exact height is on that, and maybe just practice at home if you can. If you find out what the height is, just try and practice reaching it at home. If you can do it, then you're fine. If you find that you can't really reach it, then maybe it might be a bit more difficult for you. But as far as I'm aware, it wasn't extremely high, and there were a lot of people who I worked with who were maybe 160 centimeters tall, who managed to do it. So yeah, for most people that won't be too much of an issue. And that is pretty much it for the assessment, to the best of my memory. It was a few years ago now. It was pretty straightforward day. It was a long day, but it was quite straightforward, and it was a lot of fun actually. Obviously it was nervous. You felt nervous at times when the assessors were watching you, but overall it was absolutely fine. And I would say that if you go for it, just try not to worry too much and try not to let the nerves get the better of you, because it's really not that bad. Then once you've done the assessment day, you just sit back and wait and relax, and then if you've successfully passed the assessment, they will call you back for the final interview, which is just a one-on-one interview with you and the recruitment people. In my interview there was only one lady who was recruiting, so it was just her, but I know in some places they have maybe a couple, maybe 2 or 3 people from the recruitment team who are there, so it might be you with maybe 2 people or 3 people, I'm not sure, but with me it was just a one-on-one interview. And it's just a standard interview like you would have for any job. They will ask you about your experience, if you have any customer service experience. They will ask you if you have any experience with interacting with people from other cultures or other backgrounds. If you have, then that is, I think they really value that quite a lot, because as Emirates Cabin Crew you will be working with and serving people from different cultures and different backgrounds. So if you have, then try and think of examples where you have, and you can use those. Yeah, and they'll also ask you when you've had to deal with a particular situation, if you have a customer, if you've worked in customer service before, or if not, if you've dealt with any difficult situation where you've had to find a solution, or if you've had a particularly difficult customer and you've had to find a solution to a situation. Try and think of examples if you have any, because they probably will ask you something about that as well. Yeah, and apart from that, they will ask you about your personal life, your hobbies, what you like to do in your spare time. They'll ask you why you wanted to join Emirates, which is, you know, you can answer that pretty easily. You know why you want to join Emirates. You want to travel, you want to meet new people, new experiences. Yeah, they'll ask you if you have any questions, and I always find a good thing to say, a good thing to ask is what are the chances of progression through the company, things like that. They quite value that interest, and it shows that you're willing and keen, and it obviously shows that you're looking to stay there for quite some time, which is something that they would obviously like as well. Also at the interview they will ask you for another copy of your CV, and I believe they will ask you for some personal photographs. You'll have direction, you'll have guidance on what kind of photographs you have to give them at the on the online portal when you apply anyway. They ask you for a few photographs, some of you, some wearing formal attire, full length, and they will also ask for some informal photographs. Yeah, but my advice would be make sure the photographs that you submit to them, the informal ones, are not too informal, let's say. You don't want to have any of you out partying or drinking or anything like that. Just any photo of you just outside or whatever would be absolutely fine. Just nothing too wild, that's all. And apart from that, that's about it, I believe. Yep. To the best of my memory, that was about it. It may take some time for you to find out whether you've been successful or not. Before the assessment day, they will instruct you to log on to the Emirates Recruitment portal anyway. They will give you a login, so you can see the status of your application anyway. So you can keep checking that to see what the status has been. But I know it can take quite a few weeks. In my case, it was actually very quick. I believe after my interview and assessment day, it took maybe 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks before I found out that I had been accepted. But I know for some people, especially in the places where there are a lot more people applying, it can take a lot longer. Sometimes it can take a few months even. I've heard stories of people waiting even up to 6 months. So yeah, just keep checking the portal from time to time, and it will let you know if you've been successful or not. And they will then call you, the famous golden call that you get. They will call you to tell you that you have been successful. If you haven't been successful, it will show up on the portal that you haven't. And then that's it. And then you will hopefully be on your way to Dubai and flying for Emirates. Yeah, so I hope this helped. Not all the information in this video maybe 100% accurate. It was to the best of my memory, and it was quite a few years ago now, but I just I thought some of the advice and tips I've given you in this video might help you if you are applying for Emirates. And yeah, if you are, then I wish you the best of luck. And if you have anything else you'd like to know, feel free to message me. I'm terrible at replying at messages, I apologise for that, but if I do get the time I will reply, or you can just drop a comment down below, that's fine. And yeah, good luck, bye.